learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like it's a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your Watchlist coming in September 28, 2020, and the stock market is going to go crazy. We have an exciting week. We got the end of the month, the final of the bank stress test, as well as 5 or 6 other things. Pretty exciting week. May not be as exciting as last week. However, we're going to get a lot more developments. The SPY is at an interesting point, so we will see. But I got the plays for you guys. Got a few different sets of plays that I'm looking at, different strategies as well. We have the keys and everything else this week, and that is pretty much it. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free $99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/the-stock-market. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life. And yes, you can even meet your online BFF. Like the Cole is like my giant BFF, and I love him. And like there's a lot of different things. We hopefully see you there. And yeah, and the most important thing you need to do, post your watches below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything, post them below and source that info. Shout out to Chad. And please don't forget, we need your help. This is the random account. You could kind of take a look. It's been getting clapped a little bit, but we started this account at the beginning of the year with $500. What we ask is that you post a random option play below with a specific option, strike, expiration, everything. We prefer ones with more time, and we will arbitrarily buy it up to $100, and we see the performance, kind of like testing if cats like threw darts or something, like, you know what I'm talking about. So thank you for all the people who have participated. Post that below. But right off the bat, there is a lot of things coming into this week. Volatility is in focus considering how we closed, but you also have now the market getting ready for the election. This has been a phenomenon for this last week. We want to see if this continues, but volatility for this election is higher than it has been for the last like 4 or 5 elections, I think, which is very, very surprising, even more so than the 2016 election when Donald was first voted in, and that was pretty controversial. So that is going to be key. This week we are experiencing the end of the month, so around Wednesday, so you're going to get that end of the month balancing, but now you get the end of the budget. That whole people are talking fiscal cliff. I don't think it's really going to happen, but we will see. However, there's a few different things happening at the end of the month here, again, along with the bank stress test as well. And we got some talks of it. This was a big concern last week, but stimulus, it's still a concern. We're probably going to hear about it little by little, but it is looking like the markets are already pricing in delays with the stimulus, or that it's not going to happen. That's why if there is any positive developments, it would have the ability to pop the market, because now the market's kind of getting used to, okay, we might not see that much stimulus. So there's that. As far as like economic data and everything else, you're going to get non-farm payrolls this week. You are going to get the first debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. So that could be very, very interesting. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of eyes on there. People are going to see if that changes kind of anything with the polls and how the market prices it in. But it looks like Wall Street is pretty much expecting the same effect regardless of the president or whoever wins. So there's that. You're going to get the end of the official UK Brexit talks. So the pound and some of that foreign stuff we looked at 2 weeks ago and watching the pound against the SPY, that may come back into effect. Then in 2 weeks, again, we saw it over the weekend, but Trump appointed somebody to fill that SCOTUS seat. I think they're going to have the confirmation hearing in about 2 weeks. So we'll watch how that plays out. That's been something I kind of wanted to see, but keep your eyes on that. As far as everything else, long-term interest rates. We made a TLT play last week. Again, I said don't go too crazy on it, but what we want to watch for here is if anything moves from kind of these levels, we want to see if interest rates are follow. Essentially, if you guys have been watching and we talked about this, this is why we did the TLT play. But you can see here that bonds didn't really move, even though the market moved, the VIX moved, gold moved, everything moved except for bonds. So the question is here now at this level, if the market goes up or down, do bonds stay pinned? And now this could be very, very crucial. Let's see if any other Fed talks. I don't think we're going to get as many as last week, but any Fed talks, anything of that nature could give us more data on that. But that's something I'm going to watch for. And then finally, watch currencies and oil. So this is more macro, but you guys have seen me bring this up a few times. Again, oil's been in an interesting spot. I still have that full play open on it, but the Russian currency is starting to break out. And this catches my attention every time it happens. And again, like we brought up with the pound stuff, just watch to see if anything goes crazy, but I wouldn't be surprised to get some oil news. So that is pretty much going to be it. Again, all of these factors, we could see what we saw last week where a lot of things kind of hit at once. There's still going to be some of that TikTok deal. Again, watch for that soft landing, but there's going to be a lot. The market is going to fall into a range, but I think by the middle of the week, once we start October, even like a week after October, again, within like 2 weeks from now, it will be important. However, this week is going to be kind of that first step, so I hope you're ready, but that is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I brought this one up on Friday. Boeing, it popped, or I brought this up on Thursday. Popped on Friday. We made a lot of premium sells. I really, really like this play, but I want to watch for both sides, and I'm going to look to even buy and sell premium on Boeing, but I want to play it both ways. So it moved 8-9%. You guys saw what the options did, but that's what I was talking about. Boeing hasn't really moved. Again, there's been some back and forth news with it, but I want to keep my eye on them again, especially even coming to earnings in the end of the year. But that's going to be the first play. The next set of plays is going to be the banks playing before and after the end of the month. So a lot of people are asking about the stress test news. I'm more concerned too with that dividend decision coming at the end of the month from the Fed. So we should have that around Wednesday or Thursday, and that's going to tell us stuff. I think there's going to be an opportunity both to play the banks before and to play them after. So we sold premium last week. I want to see how we go about that again, even with plays like Boeing as well too. I am going to mix in the strategies of buying premium and selling premium. I think the cuck zone may start to end, but we'll let information tell us that. However, we're going to mix up the strategies depending what the market throws at us. So those are the first two plays. The final play, or the final main one that I like, is going to be FedEx calls. So if you guys remember, they had earnings. We played this not too long ago, but again, in the midst of everything that happened, they held up pretty nice. I like how they started kicking up pretty strong on Friday. So I think they could go back up. I forgot what play. I think our plays expired. We got a continuation play, but then it expired. So I think that's going to be interesting. But now it's like, okay, we already burned some money on it, have no position. I want to look for those in the morning or even afternoon or later this week if tomorrow isn't that hot of an open for the market. So there is that. And then finally, like we said, with some of the premium selling strategies, I might sell SPY puts. So I did talk about this again. I think coming into the next few days, I should have my end of the year prediction, but I was expecting something like this, so I'm kind of expecting a ridiculous bounce out of nowhere or some level of mini cuckening. Again, there's just so many things on the table. This is what I'm worried about with even selling premium. I got to manage the risk, but anything could really pop off or develop, or 4 or 5 little things could turn into the straw that breaks the camel's back moment. So I want to sell some SPY puts, get some premium, but we'll see. They worked out last week, even though it was a close call, so we'll see how that plays out. But that is pretty much it for the main plays as far as everything else. Again, we're going to watch Boeing. I still like AMD. I'm even thinking both ways. I was more on the put side last week, but again, I like how they can move. This is just even a big range, and AMD's just been moving a lot when it's not supposed to. So when kind of there's a premium crush, I like to look at the premiums if there is a deal. Again, watch out for the premiums, even if you're going to be selling premium. Make sure you're paying attention to the prices. We talked about that last week, and we saw how important that was. So watch that. Watch the banks. I'm going to be watching Wells Fargo. I still have the October puts, and then I have the puts on Goldman Sachs. So I got to see what I'm going to do as far as the call side if I end up playing both ways. But I think we're going to get a pick and choose moment, like I said, where some banks are going to do better than others. So I'm kind of even just aiming puts on the weaker ones. But watch them. Watch some of the growth stocks, Roku and Netflix. They were kind of hot last week. Again, Netflix kind of hasn't moved. A lot of people have been talking about it. It's had some stuff going on with it. But then Roku, remember, they popped off. I really like them, but the premiums are expensive. I think for both of those, I want to see if we could sell premium. Again, watch Microsoft. I think even if we do have a bounce moment or a bigger one, a lot of people have been focusing on different stocks like Apple. I think Microsoft may come back and take a lead. Then everything else, I will be watching more longer term. I don't know if we have an option play, but DraftKings, they were picking up. Again, pay attention to some of the stocks that were stronger or weaker last week. They told us a lot of different things, but watch DraftKings. I'm watching Snapchat. We have that October play, and we are going to have a monthly deposit. I am considering Snap or Abivibe, but I have another different idea. You guys could remind me about that tomorrow. We'll go over that, but finally, we made that TLT play. Again, watch to see if they move, but the deciding factor, we do need to watch the UVXY, especially as we use it for premium selling and all of that stuff. But UUP. Again, if the currencies start to go crazy overseas, if we start to see a little bit more action, or if we get any more updates or developments from the Fed, the dollar is going to be key. And if it continues a whole nother wave of strengthening, remember last week was pretty consecutive, only one down day on the dollar. That is really going to tell us if things are getting a little bit shaky here again. So we'll watch all that different news from stimulus down to oil can affect it. So we will see what happens, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to not forget that the catfish is keeping you alive, baby. Balance the budget, control the budget, get ready for earnings season. It's game time, but the Cole loves you. I love you. And we'll see you in the morning. Let's go.